Welcome back to Reset and Rise, where we help emerging leaders grow with clarity, confidence, and intention. I'm Shirrell Meeks. Today, we're talking about a leadership challenge that can quietly affect the entire team. How do you address an employee whose negativity is beginning to impact the people around them? Maybe they complain constantly. Maybe they challenge every decision in a way that feels unproductive. Maybe their tone changes the energy in meetings. Or maybe they are frustrated, but instead of bringing concerns forward constructively, they spread that frustration throughout the team. As leaders, we have to learn how to handle these situations with empathy and professionalism, without allowing one person's behavior to damage the culture for everyone else. One important thing to remember is this: not every employee who raises concerns is negative. Employees should be able to ask questions, disagree respectfully, identify risk, and share honest feedback. That is not negativity. The issue becomes harmful when the behavior is repetitive, disruptive, disrespectful, or begins affecting the morale, focus, and performance of others. For example, there's a difference between saying, "I'm concerned about the new process. Can we talk through the impact?" and saying, "This is never going to work. Leadership never listens anyway." One invites a conversation. The other shuts it down. As a leader, your role is not to silence people. Your role is to create a culture where concerns are raised constructively. Negativity can spread quickly because people often take cues from one another. If one employee constantly complains in every meeting, challenges every change, or speaks negatively about leaders and peers, others may begin to question whether they should feel the same. Over time, the team can become more cautious, less engaged, and less willing to collaborate. That is why leaders cannot ignore repeated negative behavior and hope it will resolve itself. Silence can feel like permission. Before addressing the employee, take time to understand what may be underneath the behavior. Are they overwhelmed? Do they feel unheard? Are they struggling with a change? Is there a performance issue, conflict, or personal frustration affecting how they show up? Understanding the root cause or the hidden dimension helps you lead with empathy. But empathy does not mean excusing harmful behavior. You can care about what someone is experiencing while still being clear about what is expected. When you address the employee, focus on facts, not labels. Avoid saying, "You have a bad attitude." Instead, describe the behavior you have observed. You might say, "I want to talk about a pattern I have noticed. In several recent meetings, when changes were discussed, your comments were dismissive and your tone appeared frustrated. I have also noticed that some of those conversations continued afterward with other team members." Then explain the impact. Something like, "When that happens, it can make it harder for the team to focus on solutions and move forward together." Then set the expectation. Like, "I want you to share concerns and ask questions. That is important. But I need those concerns to be raised respectfully, directly, and in a way that helps us solve the issue." Now, this approach is direct, professional, and fair. Negative behavior can make leaders emotional. You may feel frustrated. You may feel personally challenged. You may want to correct that behavior immediately in front of others. But emerging leaders, you have to learn the difference between reacting and responding. When possible, address the pattern privately. Stay calm, use examples, be clear about the impact, and avoid turning the conversation into a debate about intentions. You may not know what the employee intended, but you can address how their behavior is being expressed and experienced and what needs to change going forward. A strong leader does not only identify the problem, they also give the employee a path forward. You can ask, like, "What is contributing to your frustration?" Or, "What support do you need to raise concerns more constructively?" You can even say, "What would help you feel more prepared for upcoming changes?" And How can we make sure concerns are brought directly to the right place? Then agree on specific expectations. For example, raise concerns directly with the leader instead of discussing them broadly with the team, or use facts and examples when identifying a problem, or bring at least one possible solution when possible. Keep communication respectful, even when there is disagreement. The goal is not to change someone's personality. The goal is to create healthier professional behavior. While you are coaching the employee, do not allow the rest of the team to carry the emotional weight of the situation. Continue reinforcing the culture you want to create. Recognize collaboration. Invite constructive feedback. Set clear meeting norms. Address gossip when it occurs. And make sure the team understands that respectful disagreement is welcome, but disrespectful behavior is not. A healthy team culture does not mean everyone agrees. It means people know how to disagree without damaging trust. If the behavior continues after coaching and clear expectations, the leader must move into accountability. Document the conversation. Be specific about what has been discussed. Follow organizational procedures and involve the appropriate human resources or leadership partners when needed. Consistency matters. If you address one employee's behavior but ignore the same pattern in another person, the team will notice. Fairness is part of trust. So I want you to ask yourself a few things. Ask yourself, am I addressing behavior or am I labeling the person? Ask yourself, have I been clear about the impact on the team? Or have I created a path forward? And am I holding the same standard for everyone? These questions help leaders stay fair, calm, and focused. As leaders, we have responsibility to create space for honest feedback, but we also have a responsibility to protect the culture of the team. You can be empathetic without being passive. You can listen without allowing repeated negativity to take over. And you can hold people accountable while still treating them with dignity and respect. Now, if you are navigating leadership growth and workplace confident communication challenges or career transition, subscribe to Reset and Rise and continue growing with us. And remember, you always have the power to reset and rise.